There are people that have been commenting on my videos saying telmisartan is very good for endurance or something like that. And I'm like, what are they thinking? So let's talk about the ancillaries. So what are your go-tos, Derek?
Well, they've changed, and I think it would depend on how aggressive I was going. So, like for me, my ancillaries are basic like health supplements with a minor dose of telmisartan, pretty much. But if I was actually like the hypothetical scenario I'd like to propose is if somebody was a full-blown bodybuilder blasting, like what would be the adequate ancillary? So for me, I would think an ARB, depending on how high your blood pressure is, of course, it wouldn't just be defaulted to telmisartan like everyone seems to think is the best choice.
Should we take a detour there for a second and discuss that?
Yeah.
So just a very quick summary. There's 4 ARBs people should look at. One is telmisartan, which has a dual effect of being a PPA receptor gamma agonist, which means it helps you put fat in adipocytes as opposed to instead of your blood and in visceral fat and so on. So telmisartan has the other benefit, but it's actually quite weak. If you have hypertension, serious hypertension, it's not going to be very effective. Valsartan is the most selective. It's like the surgical approach, but again, not the strongest at the higher doses. Irbesartan has some unusual studies that showed may be helpful in chronic kidney disease at the later stages. And it has studies showing the opposite as well. There's only a couple of studies that show that. So irbesartan, some people, and that last one is azilsartan, the most powerful at the max dose, which is what Fuad is on, actually, for example. You mentioned.
So like hypothetically, if you had like a start would be probably telmisartan or valsartan, you would think, for the majority of people.
Yeah.
Like if you were just assessing your response, and then if for some reason it was uncontrollable at that point, you might upgrade to the azilsartan.
Yeah, I think that if someone wants to be very efficient, the most efficient way would be to do that. But if somebody actually has hypertension, like 150 over 90 or 100, 160, you
Then
probably
just get it down as fast as possible.
You'll probably need to go to valsartan anyway, and you may need more than that.
Okay. One thing I want to bring up that's interesting too is I think a lot of people, I use telmisartan, so I'm not shitting on it, but the actual performance enhancing properties that come from PPAR delta agonism are quite
let's
weak.
Discuss this.
Whereas like WADA actually assessed how potent it is at enhancing endurance or any kind of performance metrics, and they found after putting it on a watch list that it was so not useful that they actually pulled it off of their thing that they thought might become a PED. So they don't even think it's worth using for the purpose that people think they're getting out of it.
So anything that agonizes the PPAR gamma or PPAR delta receptor that fully will somewhat agonize the other one. So there are people that have been commenting on my videos saying telmisartan is very good for endurance or something like that. And I'm like, what are they thinking? Then I discovered that there were some early papers in the history of telmisartan research that showed it had mild agonist properties on the delta or beta receptor. And then there are later papers that hypothesize that some results may be due to beta or delta receptor agonism. It's very weak there. Cardarine is literally the classic academic agonist of that receptor.